Well, welcome to the Friday Devotional. John Miller here. I hope all is well with you. And this devotional is going to look a little different because I want to share with you some tips that I learned from a class I attended in seminary, a doctoral class on church growth, how to grow a church. And the question is, what does a new attender see when they come to CFC? Someone who's never been here before, what is it like? And how can we retain them? How might we encourage them to be part of our fellowship? And so I want to give you some very practical tips that I learned and have instituted at Northwest Bible Church when I went there. But first, it's just the idea that you were once brand new to this church, and you have to recall the feelings and the thoughts that you had when you first drove into this property. When you think of first driving into this parking lot, it's a long parking lot. There's quite a walk. If you don't show up ahead of time or absolutely on time, you're going to be walking a while. That's the first thing you noticed. And I'm not saying that's a showstopper, it's just a reality. And then as you get closer to the church, you observe that, okay, I'm walking uphill to some steps. And there's quite a few steps. When you think of the average church and how many steps it takes to get in, we have quite a few. And that can be a daunting task for some people, especially older people. And so we put in a ramp to help with that. But that's a reality. Then, and once you start walking up the steps, you see a little welcome committee on the left there that can say hi to you, and you could maybe get some questions answered or grab a brochure, some information about our church there, and that's helpful. And we try to say hi to everybody, but if there's a slew of people coming, that doesn't usually happen that way. But then you get to the front door, and usually there are some people there that greet you once again and to say welcome. And then you come inside, and if you have children with you, see, you're wondering a lot of things. I've got all these children. Do I want them to be in the service with me? Do I want to trust them to a Sunday school with teachers I've never known, don't know anything about? There's different opinions with different families on how to navigate that. But you certainly are looking for a place to register your children for a Sunday school class while you would go to worship, if that's your inclination. And so we try to veer people toward our coffee bar and in that fellowship area where they can do just that. But you look into the sanctuary and you wonder, where am I going to sit? Wow, everything is brand new to you. You're going to feel that. And one of the phrases that church growth services pointed out is this. It's a question: are you a friendly church? Or are you a church that makes friends? There's a difference. You can have a friendly church where everybody just smiles at you and says hi, hello, welcome. And you could go 3 and 4 and 6 Sundays in a row and they say the same thing every time, but they don't pursue you. They don't ask you secondary questions. They just don't tend to come up and try to establish some kind of surface relationship there with you, or show that you are an important person and I'd like to have a little discourse with you. No, friendly church can be the church it continues to say hi, and you're just, every week you go, they never learn your name, they don't know you, and after a while you're going, well, they're friendly. So are you a church that makes friends? You really want to know these people, you care about these people. And the you I'm talking about is you. Those of us who are part of CFC, members, regular attenders, once that happens, we need to be looking out for those who were once like we were. Because when you come the first time you obviously, somebody told you about it, you learned somehow, and you're going, okay, I'm checking it out. Second time you come, you're going, that was pretty good last week. I'm going to give this another shot. The third time you come, strategically, that's an important time because you're asking a question. I like what I see, but do they care about me? I like what I see. Do they care about me? And they answer that question by whether we notice them, truly notice them or not, and approach them and show a desire to get to know them and their name, and we share them our name and ask a few good secondary questions, not to overwhelm them, but to show them that we're really glad they're here, and we'd like to get to know them better. Are you a friendly church, or are you really wanting to make friends, or do you just want the status quo? Hey, this is the way I go to this church, and we're our numbers are such, and they've been that way for so long, and I really don't care if it grows or not. No, we want to grow. We want to be a church that makes friends. Here's what happens on a Sunday morning for this new person and how they feel. They feel many times, and I hope we do a good job at this, but in many churches, people feel like an invisible man, invisible woman, if they're new to a church. And why is that? Well, it's because when we are congregating, and before the service or after the service, and walking all around, and there's a buzz, we're looking for people that we know. Our eyes are looking past people we don't know to people we do know, and say, "Hey, George, yeah, you go to strengthening dads." You go to the moms groups. Hey, are you going to VBS? And of course, these new people may have never heard of the word VBS. We're sharing words they've never heard, phrases. We're not connecting with them with our eyes, because it's convenient to look at people we know and start the conversation and get caught up on life. And here are these new people that just don't feel known. So there is a process that is very important here. And we at Northwest Bible Church, we called it the 4-minute rule. So that right after the service, each service, right after you take the first 4 minutes to spy out who might be new and greet them and get to know them a bit. First 4 minutes. So obviously the first 4 minutes, people are getting up, they're getting ready to get out and go and leave, maybe never come back, maybe come one more time. All these new people have different opinions about their experience, but you want to be strategically looking. And if most of us did that, people would feel cared for. They would feel like we're a church that really wants to make friends, and we care deeply about the people, and I trust we do care about these new people wherever they are, wherever they sit, whatever they look like, doesn't matter. We spy them out and we pursue them. Our elders are doing this in terms of various sections of the church after the worship service. But all of us should be thinking about this 4-minute rule. And then we can go after our friends and say, hey, are you going to be a community group this week? And we can do all that. So these are some tips that I think are very important and will lead to church growth. And if we all really want that, and I hope we do, then we're going to see this church grow simply because we have a relational approach to new people. Well, I hope this has been helpful to you and that you'll try implementing and put yourself in the shoes of a brand new person this coming Sunday. And look for those people. Get into their heads as they begin to come, and it'll help you care for them in a new way. So have a great weekend, and we will see you on Sunday. Bye-bye.